Okay, guys, what the hell's going on right now? That is the question of the day. Okay, this week has been freaking weird. The energy is very wacko, wonky. I don't even know what word to use. I've been feeling so weird all week, like feeling a million different things, but then at the same time feeling nothing. There's just a lot of like, where am I going? Where am I? Like confusion, I guess, is a good way of describing it. I don't know if you guys have been feeling that same way, but I really wanted to tap into the full moon lunar eclipse that is happening on March like 13th, 14th, I think, depending on where you live. I'm no astrologer. Okay, let's get that straight away. I am not an astrologer, so I don't know all of the ins and outs of what's going on in the sky. But for some reason, I always have loved the moon. I've always felt very connected to the moon. So I love to jump in every now and then with like new moon and full moon things. And I always feel like eclipse season is a very like important time of the year, of our journeys, of our evolution. I feel like a lot of things happen during that time. So I don't know, I like to tap in. I like to see what's going on. So anyways, if you've been feeling weird too, like welcome to the club. We're all here together. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Christina. I am an intuitive and I like to connect to energies. I'm very good at it. I'm extremely intuitive. So I was like, let me connect to this, full moon eclipse. Let's see what's going on here. And as soon as I did it right before I hit play on my camera. But as soon as I did, the energy felt intense, and that's an understatement. Honestly, it felt really powerful, and I'm sure a lot of you, especially if you're very sensitive or very in tune, have already been feeling some of these shifts, some of these changes, some of this crazy energy that you can't really put words to, but you're just like, something's weird. I don't feel like myself. So as soon as I tapped in, I just felt the intensity, and for some reason, this one feels very fiery to me, like very fiery energy. And even though I think it's in Virgo, which is an earth sign, but I don't know. I felt very fiery, very intense, very like bam in your face. Like it felt very like igniting was a word that I kept getting and I kept hearing. It's like we're igniting, we're getting ignited, like things are really shifting, like big shifts between us. And I know that people say that a lot, like there's big shifts, there are big changes, things like that. But eclipses, I feel like, really push you to change in ways you didn't think you needed to. So I feel like the eclipse energies always feel to me like a big kick in the butt. Like, hey, if you have not been paying attention to the things that need to change, well, guess what? You have no choice. It's going to hit you right in the face and show you like, this is what needs to change. This is what needs to go. This is what no longer resonates with you. This is what identity you need to release and let go of. Like, these are all these things. So I do feel like a lot of people are going through big shifts and big changes, but like, you won't be able to ignore what these big shifts are. Some of them are really, honestly, there's no negative or positives, but some are going to be easier changes than others. Let's just put it that way. So for some people, like let's say a big shift is like, hey, the person you were best friends with for the last 10 years is no longer someone that resonates with you. That can be a gigantic change and a very scary change for a lot of people. So that could feel very intense. Or maybe like a relationship. I keep feeling like relationships. There's something around relationships that are going to keep changing. So again, it's like you might not be friends with someone you've been friends with for 10 years. You might have been feeling like, it's time for me to go. It's time for them to go out of my life. Like we're just not a match anymore. Or like big relationship changes, like maybe you take your romantic relationship to a new level, or maybe there's like a really hard conversation you need to have, or maybe like there's a lot around like relationships, and I've been hearing this a lot, but I'm receiving this right now too. It's like there's a lot around relationships of like, how can we get more real with each other? How can we be more vulnerable? How can we get to the core of things? Like, let's stop pretending here. Let's stop putting on this show. Like, if it's not working, then let's admit it's not working and let's move on. Whether it's friendship or romantic, business, it doesn't matter. Like any kind of relationship, it's like, if this isn't working, either let's move on, or if this isn't working, how can we make it better? Like there's a lot of that, and I feel like there's just going to be like a big shift in the sense of like, you can't ignore this anymore. You just have to go for it. You have to talk about it, no matter how uncomfortable it's going to be, or how awkward or sad or hurtful, whatever it is. Like these things need to come out. They need to come out. We need to move on. We need to move forward. So I guess that's something to kind of look out for, like, hey, Look at the relationships around you. Which ones are you kind of done with, or which ones need to be evolved? Which ones need to change in order to fit this new energy that you are embodying that is coming into your life? So there's a lot around that, around relationships. I do feel like as people, or as a society, I do feel like we're kind of getting into the age, or into the, I guess age is a good time where there will be more like collaborations, more community, more of people finding their people. I feel like this eclipse is setting us up for that. However, I don't feel like people understand like the amount of work that relationships really need. The way that we've been doing relationships before, again, romantic or platonic, it doesn't matter. I feel like it's not going to work anymore. So in order to find, like, let's say your soul family, your community, your people, even in like romantic relationships, best friends, whatever, even in your family relationships, what we're being encouraged to do is to move into a more heart-centered space, meaning we got to get more real with each other. We have to learn how to be vulnerable. We have to learn how to communicate. We have to learn to say, hey, I don't like when you do that to me. Hey, I don't like when you talk to me like that. Hey, can you, be a little bit more gentle in the way you say things? I don't know, like things that make you feel uncomfortable to say. Like usually we think that, our families, they love us, right? So even when they tell us like, that's a dumb idea, you shouldn't do that, like, it's because they're doing it out of love. They don't want me to get hurt. And it's like, that's not love, friends, that's fear. Okay, so we need to start standing up to our moms, our dads, our parents, our family members, and telling them like, hey, I get it that you love me, but I don't like that you're talking to me like that. I don't like that you're saying that my idea is not good. Like, I need you to trust me. I need you to support me. And this is what support looks like to me. It's about getting very clear about what you need in relationships and in other people in order for both of you to thrive. And of course, you have to be open to receiving that kind of like pointers, criticism, whatever you want to call it. But you need to be open for someone to tell you like, hey, I need you to, explain yourself more when you tell me that you don't want to hang out with me. Can you please explain why you don't want to hang out, or what you're going through, what's happening? Like, we have to get more real is what I just keep sensing. Like, get real. So it's about just being completely honest with the other person, even if it scares you, even if it makes you uncomfortable, even if you think they might not take this well. It's like, you need to still do it, because that's where relationships truly grow, is when you have difficult conversations. It's when you have moments of being uncomfortable. It's when you both are like, oh, this is so awkward and weird and uncomfortable, but we're going to walk through it together and we're going to figure it out. Like, that's where people get stronger. That's where relationships get stronger. So don't be afraid of that, okay? Move towards that. Move towards the weirdness and the uncomfortable and the hard conversations. Like, I promise you, you will be rewarded. And in one way or another, even if, let's say you have a hard conversation and then the relationship ends, it's like, well, then that's what needed to happen. You need to see people for who they really are, and see if they actually fit into your life or they don't, so hard conversations show you just that. Like, yes, you and this person are meant to keep going forward, or no, you're not. So don't be afraid, people. But those seem to be the biggest themes. I'm gonna ask, I like to check in, I'm channeling as I talk, so I will close my eyes real quick just to ask if there's any final messages. Please hang in there with me, give me just a second while I ask. The full moon lunar eclipse, is there anything else that needs to be done? All right, I just felt like the ignition back is go after these ideas that you've been having. There's no more time to hold back. There's no more time to play small. There's no more time to think things through. Obviously, this feels like preparation, I would say if you had any big launches or any big ideas, to do it mid-April, somewhere around there. But this is the time where you start kind of getting the engine going, turn things on, get things hot, get everything's turned on. Like, what do you want to create? What do you want to call in? What do you want to do? What do you want to put out into the world? What do you want to share? Okay, like, this is the time to do that. This is the time to start like igniting that fire within and doing what you really want to do, or putting out these great ideas that you've been having. Like, and it doesn't have to be all at once. Like, pick one that you feel like really strongly about, or like, okay, it's time for me to share this. Whether, like, it could literally be anything. I heard, like, if you have a song to share it. If you have a painting, a drawing, if you have, I don't know, a meal that you want to share with the people that you love. Like, it could be anything, but any idea that you've been having that you're like, this would be really cool. Like, let me start this. If you want to start a YouTube channel, if you want to start putting yourself out on social media, like, this is the time to start preparing for that. Maybe start practicing how you want to present this thing, how you want to put it out into the world, and just get excited. It feels like this is exciting times. This is like a chance for you to really show who you are, and to, like, I don't know, I just like see like this big curtain like opening, and like, ta-da, here I am, world. Like, that's what it feels like. So allow yourself to be seen in a way that you've never been seen before. Like, this is a great time for that. So definitely put yourself out there. Let yourself be under the spotlight. Let people see your light shining bright like a diamond in the sky. Like, don't hold back. Yeah, that feels super fun. I'm excited for everybody. Yeah, and I just feel like just set the intention, that's what I was just hearing. It's just like, just set the intention of like, I want to ignite my inner fire. I want to ignite my passion. I want to ignite my creativity. I want to ignite my vision, whatever it is, or just ignite my ability to be seen. Set whatever intention you want, you find your words, but just set that intention of like you putting yourself out there, or bringing something into the world. Even if you don't share on social media, maybe you just share it with your friend group or your family or your neighbors. I don't know. Just allow that to be a thing, okay? And don't force it. Like, I'm meaning, if you've had these ideas for a while and you felt the want to put yourself out there, to put a project out there, like, let it shine, girl. Let it shine. Burn it up. Burn it up as in, like, let it, like, sorry. I was having all these, like, visuals, but it's like, light up the firework and let it, like, burst, and let it just light up the sky. That's what I was sensing. And that's like, sometimes when the messages and the visuals come in, I get like stumbled, like, because I'm like, I'm sensing and I'm seeing and I'm just trying to decipher all the energy. But yeah, friends, that's what I'm sensing. Get excited. This is exciting times, even if it feels intense, even if it feels like everything's being shaken up, even if you feel like you don't know what's happening and you can't tell up or down, left from right. Like, this is intense, okay? Don't fight the intensity, though. Just surrender to it and just kind of like let it all burn down, whatever needs to burn down. Just be like, all right, well, let it burn. Obviously, you're going to have emotions to process with all of these big changes, and just allow it to be. Allow yourself to get mad if you need to. Allow yourself to cry. Allow yourself to shake, dance, to move energy around. Drink a lot of water. Ground yourself however you can, and just stay as present as you can through the craziness. Stay present in your hard feelings. The anger is hard to feel, or the sadness, or the letting go, or whatever it is. Like, just hang in there. You got this. Everything's going to be okay. I feel like mid-March, not mid-March, I guess we are in mid-March until mid-April. Like, the next few weeks are going to be kind of bumpy, but we'll get through it, and there'll be brighter days ahead, okay? So I think I'll leave it at that. That feels pretty complete. I hope you enjoyed this little message that I had, this intuitive message that I just channeled. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to work with me, I do intuitive readings and healings. Well, you can also learn from me if you want to, but everything's in my shop in the description down below. And yeah, my intuitive readings are very powerful. I get right up in there. Like, I see all of you. I see you on a soul level, and I see you on a human level, and I can see who you really are and who you're really meant to be, and also what's blocking you from being happy, successful, fulfilled, and from being your true self. So if you need help understanding that, but I also am helping you like get guidance and insights from your higher self. So any questions that you have, I'm happy to help you find the answers to them. And my healings are just very deep transformative work. Like, we go deep, girl. There's no hiding in my healings. Like, you will change, you will transform, you will feel different. So anyways, if any of that sounds good to you, please check out my shop. I would love to work with you. It would be so much fun. I think that's all I need to say. So stay grounded, stay safe out there. You got this. I believe in you. Put yourself out there. Let yourself shine bright like a diamond in the sky. And I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.